say, what's that? It's Pat.
This is awesome. So anyway, hello everybody. My name is Patrick Argiro, aka I try to push it back as far as I can because I'm on prednisone right now. I'm recording, and prednisone, what it does is it helps with the pain, but it puffs you up. So I push the camera back as far as I can because I hate it. I gained a little bit, but anyway, that's going to be in the thing. But my name is Patrick Argiro, aka Cousin Pat, and I am here with MMA fighter, UFC fighter Mike Rodriguez. So, Mike, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for doing this. I love interviewing MMA fighters. The show wasn't supposed to be an MMA show, right? It was supposed to be an inspirational show, but it is. I interviewed Leah Letson yesterday, and she shared some deep stuff. You know who Leah is, right?
Yeah.
But what I love about it is you guys are always moving. Like I interviewed Eric Anders in an airport, and he's getting on the plane. I interviewed UFC vet. I mean, we're old school. We're talking Moity Horenstein. He fought in UFC 10 and UFC 14 against Mark Coleman and I think, was it Mark Kerr? They put him up against two wrestlers, and he also was talking to me in the car. You guys are always moving. You're always busy. And so I appreciate the fact, like, you got your kids in the car and you're just chilling. You know, you got stuff to do and you still took the time to do this. And so thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime.
Yeah, no, and I've been talking to a lot of guys, and you guys are all so cool. A little personalities, a little different here and there, but overall just super nice guys who can kill people. So I'm a comedian. I'm a comedian, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I ask a lot of silly questions because I'm a little boy, right? I'm 46, but I'm a little boy. So here's my thinking. If we were attacked by aliens, right?
Okay.
Okay, so we're attacked by aliens, and the aliens do this thing, and they go zoom. And then all of technology that we have that we could fight the aliens is now shut down, right? Because now it's gone. Who's going to fight the aliens? You know who? You know who?
Who?
UFC fighters.
All right. I give you on that.
UFC fighters are gonna have to fight the aliens because they just did a mind thing. They killed all our technology. So now it's just hand to hand. And who's gonna do it?
Hand to hand.
You know, it's just hand to hand. The guns don't work, nothing works. So who's gonna do it? It's gotta be UFC. UFC's gotta talk to the Bellator guys and say, look, we're better than you. I'm only kidding, Bellator guys. I'm only kidding. I've interviewed a bunch of Bellator guys. And look, we're gonna have to beat up these aliens together. And just like, you know, it's legal murder. And it's not really murder because they're aliens, so they're not even humans. I'm a little strange. But anyway, so I am very excited to talk to you because I like your videos. I saw one where you're pumping up this kid riding a bike. And I'm guessing that's a friend of yours or...
Yeah.
Now,
he's my boy, Dan.
Okay. Shout out to Dan. Let me ask you this. I'm all over the place, so I just talk the way I want to talk.
It's all good.
What's the goal? Is your goal? I always ask a lot of silly questions, but I also get a lot of deep answers because this is an inspirational show. And Leah Letson really shared some deep stuff. I interviewed Walt Harris's wife, Angela, and you know what their family went through, right?
Absolutely.
So that was tragic. So I try to really learn a lot. And she taught me that. And you have a daughter, so you might want to know this. When your daughter gets older, and I hope you teach her martial arts, they have these thing called tiles that these perverts, they drop in women's purses. And it's a GPS tracking.
Yeah, I was just about to say, a lot of people, I always known of Tile using it for people when they lose their keys and shit. They would clip onto their keys. That's fucking crazy. I didn't know they was doing that.
Whenever you have something that's created technology that could be used for good, they will then use it for bad. Like
Valid point.
technology, like GPS or something where, you know, or social media where you could help and connect with people, then it could be used for something evil, like you're a scared person and you don't have self-confidence. So now you have to put down somebody who's going through a hard time, and you could do it through a computer and nobody knows who you are. And
Right.
so there's always stuff that, so when there's something good created, there will be somebody who will use it for bad. And that's unfortunate. So let me ask you this. Your next step in life or your goal, and I have a bunch of MMA questions too, don't get me wrong, but what's your goal? I know you have a fight coming up, I believe in September.
Yeah.
Against, I'm so bad at these names, but this is
Sorry, I keep butchering his name too.
Tafan. Oh my God,
Yep.
I'm so sorry, Tafan. Tafan Nukwuki.
Yeah.
Now, the name sounds very Asian oriented, and maybe he is half Asian, but he looks like a
He's from Cameroon.
oh, is he? Okay, that could be.
Yeah, I believe he's from Cameroon.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on that upcoming fight, and how's training been going for that? Because I'm sure that's what you're getting ready for.
Yeah, man, the training's been fucking amazing. Sorry. Yeah, training's been really good. Don't tell their mom, please. Training's been really good. I've been working really hard, man, really hard. Just sharpening so many things, working on so many things, working with a bunch of new people. It's good. It feels really good. I love the direction that I'm going.
Yeah, and so is this a fight? How did this fight come about? Is this a fight you asked for? The UFC just gives you an opponent. Did he ask for it?
I got this fight. They offered it to us. They were like, "Hey, do you want this fight?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll take it." And that's how I got it.
I mean, it's gotta be, I mean, I believe you've been in the UFC. You started on Dana White Contender Series. That's how, you know, we got to know you before. And I'm always confused if that counts as being in the UFC.
That's funny to say. A lot of people always ask me that, and I'm like,
it's on your record as a win. It's on your record as a win, and Dana White saw it. And Dana White has a lot of respect for you, especially. It's like beating a dead horse. That fight you had, right? It's got to be like, you know. Let's talk about something other than that fight. But what I'm talking about is what you know. Just to let the people know, he was winning this fight against Ed Hearn, I believe.
Ed Herman, yeah.
Ed Herman, I'm sorry. And the ref, who's a human, made a mistake, and then he caught you, and you lost the fight. But the important thing is this: the boss didn't think you lost the fight. So if the boss didn't think you lost the fight, did you really lose the fight? And the answer is yes, technically you lost the fight, but what I heard him say is he still paid you. He doesn't look at you as a loss, because I would think it'd be scary as a UFC fighter, unless you're at the T-Wood level, where you lose 3, 4, and you're like, damn, like this is getting scary. But that wasn't a loss. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
And the ref, you were very respectful. His name's Chris McNulty, and I think it's okay to say his name. He made a mistake, and have you spoken to him after that? Meaning, like, or have you ever had run-in with him where he was like, "My bad, dog," or no? No,
I never had any run-in with him.
I don't mean bad. I just mean like, hey, man, like a conversation.
Yeah, no, I didn't have any run-in with him at all about that. Like he didn't say anything to me after. Like it happened, and we never really got a chance to see each other. Maybe like this next fight, who knows? He might be my ref, and we'll probably say something. But no, we haven't exchanged words at all.
Yeah, but you took it real classy. I obviously before I used to be all in with the UFC, and I still am.
Yeah.
But what happened was, I'll tell you what happened. I was betting. I started out with zero, and I don't promote gambling. If it's a problem, it ruins your life, don't do it. But I started off zero, got up to $1,600. Hey, it's not bad. So then
it's not bad at all.
Yeah, so then I go, all right, T Woods fighting Usman. He just, he beat Till. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, why not? All in.
All in. All in.
Yeah. And lost it. And then I went, all right, I'm good with this. So I haven't bet since, and I have no desire to. And then becoming a therapist, and life goes on and you're busy and that blah, blah, blah. But what would you say is if you, this fight, you feel obviously very confident that, I'm assuming you feel very confident. Do you know, has it come out yet? Are you the favorite for this fight, or those haven't come out yet? That's too far away.
You know what? I don't really know how betting works. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. People be like, oh, you're the favorite. I'm like, all right. I don't know. I don't even know what that means. I just like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I just like to say, if I could give a lesson to people, there's a few people who are very good at gambling. And there was a gentleman who apparently made a lot of money off of T Woods fights, like became a millionaire apparently. But if you're not, try not to gamble. I mean, if you're rich and you just want to drop 20 G's, it doesn't affect your life. But if you have 20 G's, don't bet it all. That's all I'm saying. This is supposed to be a therapeutic type inspirational show, so I feel like I should say that. But
Right.
so you were an amateur in I believe it says you started your amateur career in 2012. From the mindset of a fighter, when do you decide, I think I want to go pro? Like, is it a camp decision? Is it your decision? Can you just go pro? Or do you, if an organization will take you, that's considered pro, right? How does that work for the average fan who doesn't know?
I think for every situation is like entirely different, but typically like your coach is the one who say like your next one should be pro. It's like when your coach tells you like, you deserve a promotion for another belt. It's like you can tell some kids just get really polished and he's like, all right, he's crushing it. He might as well go pro, versus to like still being an amateur and sandbagging and fighting all these other kids. Like it just go pro if you're like crushing it like crazy, So yeah, it's usually the coach is the one that decides it.
Okay.
But there is some cases where people just like, I'm gonna go pro, and I've seen some guys just hop right into the pro circuit and get crushed. I see some guys hop right into the pro circuit and do pretty well. Like, and they like, I'll just learn on the job. So
yeah,
it's all personal preference.
So you consider yourself, because I have a point to make on that, but so do you consider yourself kind of like and I don't say this in a bad way because my father was, and his father was, and that's how I grew up, middle class, even kind of lower middle class. And then I was homeless. So I was, I guess homeless class, whatever. But do you consider yourself like a blue collar, like you work, like you have skills, but your work ethic is what got you better?
I agree. I bust my fucking ass, man. Oh, on their sleep. Yeah, I bust my fucking ass. I fucking work hard as fuck. And you have to at this level, because we all do. Like, I don't know, I lied. I know some fighters that don't work that hard. But yeah, I wanna hang with the best, be with the best. So yeah, I bust my ass. I got fucking strong work ethics.
So you are, what I find is, and I think this is normal, whether you play in the NFL, the MLB, NHL, and I have a theory on the NHL. I think, here's my theory.
Yep.
The toughest guys, now don't get offensive to this. The toughest guys out of the four major sports, you get an NHL guy and an NFL guy. I've met NHL guys. they will beat the crap out of an NFL guy.
I don't know what it is the NHL guys drink, but you are 1,000,000% right.
There was
There's something's in their water. Those motherfuckers are tough, dude.
Dude,
Those dudes are tough.
Dude, they are like but my point, they are blue collar people. I've met these guys. I've met guys from the minor leagues. I met one in a doctor's office, and I want to find out his name so I can put him on the podcast, but I can't ask the doctor. He won't give me his name. But he looked like Thor. He looked like Thor. And he was just this big. And the thing is, I think out of the 4 major sports, which now the UFC has eclipsed the NHL, and now you guys, I think, are now the 4th major sport, in my opinion. And then also popularity wise. But if you took like NHL guys, like one NHL guy, he didn't have an issue telling Tank Abbott, I'll fuck you up. Now this is back 20 years ago, but I think out of the major sports besides you guys, you take an NHL guy, toughest guy. You take an NHL guy versus a mixed martial artist. I think you guys would be surprised, but you still win. I think you still win, obviously. I think Mighty Mouse can beat up the baddest NHL player on the planet, whoever that may be. I don't know. But my point is, they are tough sons of bitches. And I just wanted to say that because I'm a little boy and I think about these things. So is the goal, have you ever met any NHL guys?
I met one. He was a pretty big dude, man. He played for Tampa. This was like when I was in Miami one time. I met him. It just so happened we had like mutual friends, oddly enough, and he was a big fucking dude, man. I'm like, man, if a fight breaks out, I would have to hit him with something. He was big as shit. He was a big guy. He was pretty big.
You know, I don't watch hockey.
Yeah.
I don't watch hockey, but when you do watch hockey fights, they are, there is most times there's a gentlemanly way they do it. Like they do, you want to go? And if the other guy doesn't want to go, they don't go. But I'm only bringing this up because you're a fighter, and I thought you would appreciate, because you must watch basketball fights and go, what the fuck? Like, because basketball players cannot fight.
Basketball guys.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, some of those guys need to like hit you guys up and like, yo, I need to learn how to throw a jab or something.
The only 2 basketball players that I know that can fight for sure is Ron Artest and Jermaine O'Neal, from when they beat up all the Piston fans back in the day.
That was, dude, Bill Burr.
That was insane, dude. Insane.
Are you a fan of Bill Burr?
Love Bill Burr.
He does this, Google him or YouTube him later. He does this bit. You see his bit on that?
On that fight? No, I didn't see that.
Oh my God. He is so funny with that Irish Boston. He goes, it was great. It was awesome. You got these super athletes just beating the shit out of these fat, overweight, average people. They go one punch and they knock out a whole row. It was just.
Dude, it was awesome. It was insane, man.
It was, and it's just crazy. It's just that stuff is crazy. But as men, as people, we like that. And even some women, like, listen, I don't like violence. Women, UFC fighters get women. That's just about. I know they do. There's no doubt in my mind. And that's it. And guys like you kind of irritate me a little bit because here you are, tall, handsome, good looking. I said handsome. You're in good shape and you could beat the crap out of people. You know what, Mike? This interview is over. I don't want to talk to you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So what's the next goal? Former stand-up comedian, by the way. What's the next goal? What do you think? Do you think like your goal is, okay, I'd like after this fight, maybe I could get into the top 15? Because you're going to fight him in the light heavyweight, right? 205 or?
Yeah, I am. 205.
Yeah. And so do you have goals like that, or you just take it fight by fight? Or is it unhealthy to have goals? I mean, I would think goals are healthy, but
No, I do have goals, but like, so there's goals and then there's benchmarks. You need benchmarks to hit the goals. So
like milestones. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I want to hit those first before I hit the goals, you know? Like, so like, for instance, for me this year, I want two fights, 2 to 3 fights. Well, I'm fighting in September. So, yeah, my last fight was February, and now I'm fighting. How I feel after that fight, if I'm okay. Like if I go out there and knock him out in the first round, totally fine. I want to run it back. I want to fight the next person, whatever's next. Like, come on, keep it going. Like I want to fight that October or that November, you know, if all is well. But yeah, I just like I want to stay busy. That's my thing right now, is just staying busy, staying busy, staying busy.
In a typical situation, non-COVID type situation, because you fought once so far this year, I believe, in 2021.
Yep.
And now you're gonna fight
Yep.
again. In a typical year without
Yep.
COVID, it's gone. It's
Yep.
maybe it didn't even exist. What would you be happy with 3-4 fights a year?
Yep. I would love 3 or 4 fights a year.
Yeah.
I think 3 is ideal. I think 3 is good for every fighter, any fighter and every fighter. 4 is kind of pushing it, but if you can get that 4th one in, that's great. But 3 is good. 3 is like average, in my opinion.
3 is average, right?
Yeah, 3 is average.
All right. So with COVID, that kind of put a little bit on, obviously, on that situation for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Are you driving with no hands? Because that's dangerous.
I'm in traffic, so.
Oh, okay. I'm just fucking around.
Yeah.
So when you get that, I don't know how this would be. I went to high school with a guy named Anthony Graffadino, and he played for the Atlanta Braves. His son just actually signed with the Braves too. And he was like a superstar in high school, went right to the draft. And then he was pretty much a utility player, good player, solid player. When you get to because Eric Andrews was a former football player, and he was saying he went to NFL. You know Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric Anders?
Yeah, Eric
I don't
Andrews.
know him personally, but I know him. I know of him, yeah.
So he played in the NFL with the Cleveland Browns. I'm not sure if he got much playing time, but I know he signed a contract. Then he went to NFL, he went to CFL, and then Arena. And so there's this desire of like, I need to compete. And then he told me, he said something very cool, which I knew, which everyone knows. He goes, I made it to the NFL of the MMA world, which is the UFC. Like you are
Absolutely.
in the show, like you are in the show. Like,
yep.
And if you don't think these guys are in the show, ask the guy that just got knocked out by Joe Schilling, who never fought in UFC, but he fought in Bellator. Like,
Right.
you know, you guys are at another level. While we're training and I'm studying to get my license to become a licensed therapist, you're learning how to kill someone like for 4 or 5 hours a day. Like, you know, our work day is very different. Hence why our bodies are different. And you look the way you do, and I got a little puff here. So that's good. How do you cope with stress? Do you even experience stress? Have you had any diversity in your life? And I must think working out or just training must really help with that.
No, I have a lot of stress in my life. I had a lot of stress in my life, but and before it used to really show in my training. Like you can ask all my former coaches, they'll be like, yeah, he'll come in. Like I would get into a fight with my ex-wife at home, and then I'll come in, I'm like, this fucking bitch, man. And I'm stressed out about it. Versus to like when you go into the gym, you should be relaxed. You're in your happy spot. That's your happy place. You know what I mean? That's the only place where you only need to worry about you, focus about you, and that's it. Like you shouldn't be focused about anything else. But a lot of external things would always fuck with me in the ring, in the cage or in the training room or whatever. So over the years, I just learned how to not a lot of the shit, don't cut the small shit. That's one. It's like, if it's small shit, I don't even give a fuck for it. I don't even pay it any mind. That's one. And then two, when I go into the gym, as soon as I pull up to the parking spot, I just do a mental cleanse, clear all that shit off my head, and just get to work. It's just whatever I was even thinking about, whatever happened, whoever arguments, whatever, all that shit's in the past. And once I go in the gym, none of that shit's irrelevant anymore.
I was talking to Leah Letson yesterday, and she was saying that, she was very open with me, and it was real. I mean, I was really surprised and shocked because it took us 4 times to get together. So by the 3rd time, I did a non-interview with her. So I pretended she was there.
Yep.
And I just started asking her questions like she was there, and then answered them. And I said, "Oh, thank you for your service." And she was like, "Oh, you're welcome." But that was me. And then finally we did the interview and it was really quite good. And she told me that, she's been to therapy, but didn't quite help her. The only thing that helped her is UFC has a sports psychologist. Have you ever used that service? Because this is a therapist.
My man Micah, you damn right. That's my guy.
What's his name again? Because I want to give him props. What's his name again?
I think his last name is Johnson, Micah Johnson. He used to play for the White Sox. He played for I think for Cleveland. He's a fucking beast, man. He's a good dude, really good dude, real wholesome type of cat. But yeah, I see a sports psych and I see a therapist. I'm really big on mental health. Very, really big onto it.
Well, I think it's
I've always something I've always been on, like always pounding onto it, trying to get good at it, trying to get better at it, because it's another part of the body that needs to be trained that a lot of people neglect.
It's a muscle, just like anything else. And very successful people go to therapy, and maybe back in the 70s or 80s, they would be very quiet about it. But, now everybody says, yeah, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to bounce ideas off of. I need, especially like, you're working your way up there, and I think you're going to get there. I really do. But some of these guys that, could you imagine like, for example, like DC, now he's got a good support system, he's got his wife and everything, but, that's got to be a lot of pressure. And some guys don't handle the pressure, AKA John Jones, well, but I wish him well. And I hope to talk to him. And I hope he gets, it seems like he's doing well now. I'll never badmouth an MMA guy because I'm so afraid of you guys. I mean, did you see the Joe Schilling video?
I did see it.
Now, what that was, I'm going to tell you what that was.
Yeah.
I'm 5'8", 5'9", but really 5'8".
Right.
Since I'm single, I'm going to say 5'9". And what that was a guy who was with a girl and having a good time at the bar.
Yep.
And it's probably a life of the party. And he probably played a little high school ball. He was probably, whatever. And this guy bumps him. And Joe Schilling did kind of give him a little. And he says something. And then he does this really light, which Joe Schilling is a big dude. Like, I had no idea how big he was, but he's probably not as big.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's a big guy. And
I met him and trained with him once. He's pretty big. He's a pretty big dude.
Like, he's about because you're what, 6'3"?
Yeah.
So is he your height? Like, is he your?
I would say he's like 6'1", maybe. So, like, he's like 6'1", I would say.
That's still good. That's still good.
Yeah.
But, a long time ago, Joe Rogan actually did a scenario on him where he did a scenario on the podcast where he said, and he used Joe Schilling as a situation. He goes, there'll be dudes out there that get drunk and want to fight you. So he says, imagine you're a dude and you roll up on Joe Schilling. And he says, apparently all Joe Schilling does is pop. But he said, imagine because an average Joe, the street fight will last, 30 seconds to 50 seconds before somebody wants to puke. And so, you got a guy like Joe Schilling or even Joe Rogan who, or you, all right, I'll let you throw some punches at me now. Okay, now it's my turn. And now you're done. You're done, But that situation was a guy who had a little beer muscle and
Yeah.
a little bit of Napoleon's complex, because at one point I had that. Being, I admit that. I admit, hey, I admit a lot of things, because why not? Be authentic. And
Be authentic, yeah.
and he just ran into the wrong guy who gave him a shove, and I probably, he thought he was standing up for himself, and he just got taught to. Unfortunately, I think it's going to cost Joe Schilling a little bit of cheddar, because I'm reading stuff about the lawyers and stuff. So,
of course, do press charges.
Oh yeah, he's going to press charges. Well, hey, I mean,
it's always like that.
Did you see?
Man, that's why I don't be putting my hands on people, man. I ain't got no money to be paying anybody. Hell no.
Like I look at it like, and not everybody's gonna be like that old man who Connor punched. Like, I don't think that dude wanted a penny. He just wanted to be left alone, and Connor punched him. And to the guy's credit, he took it. But you know what I'm talking about, right? That video.
Yeah, I know.
And then this recent one, you got to be crazy to start a fight with anybody that look like, if you look tough, they probably are. Like,
right.
Jason Knight beats the crap. I'm sorry for cursing with your kids in the car, but Jason Knight. Did you see Jason Knight where he beat the crap out of two guys in a bathroom stall?
Holy shit, no.
Yeah. Now, Jason, I hope you do the show one day, because I've been reaching out to those bare knuckle guys too. And it was kind of your fault a little bit. It was, but he handled business. He was in a corner. He said something inappropriate, and then he knocked out two guys in a bathroom stall backwards. And it's just amazing. You should not be messing with, if like you guys spend 8 hours a day or 4 to 5 hours a day, you essentially spend 40 hours a week, let's say, doing a job like we do, learning computer Excel, except you're learning how to like rip a guy's arm off. It's never a good idea. So tell me a little bit about how you dealt with afterwards with the loss, if you don't mind me asking, the loss to, I butchering his name, Danilo Marquez.
Danilo Marquez.
How do you say his name?
Danilo Marquez.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Man, in that fight, I wasn't even in that fight. I was so distracted in that camp. I was in a happy place.
Personal stuff, right?
Yeah, I was really depressed. I felt like pseudo suicidal.
Hey man, I've been there too.
Yeah, I was like internally, I was rock bottom. Externally, everybody's like, "Oh shit, like Mike's the man," blah blah blah. And I had like this, this little taste of fame because of the last fight. I was pretty much on a 2-fight win streak. Man, it was getting fucking bad, bro. They're sleeping. So I was just doing all sorts of wild shit. Like instead of like just being disciplined and trained and shit, I was fucking in and out of hotels, and it was bad, man. It was bad. I was at a bad point in my life, man.
So you were doing what, I'm going to say something, and I want men not to get mad at me. You were doing what most men who would love to be in your situation. I'm assuming you were doing what most men will never experience, being a professional athlete. And that's what you were doing. The benefits, or that situation where you're a famous person and you were reaping certain benefits.
I was
know.
wilding out. I was wilding out. Yeah. And I hated who I became. It came to the point where I literally could not like look in the mirror. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, it was just bad. It was bad, so bad. And I spent a fuck ton of money. And, like, I lost a fuck ton of money doing all that dumb shit. It was bad. And I just was like, and it was all, that was one thing. One, I wasn't happy. And I was married at one point. I wasn't happy in my marriage. I hated my marriage. I hated everything about it. I hated where I lived. I just hated everything that was part of who I am. So I couldn't give the fight or the training camp all that I could give. Like I just was like, whatever, fuck it, whatever. I was just going through the motions. I wasn't invested at all. And came back and bit me in the ass.
You know, when you say you weren't happy in your marriage, I always wonder, because I got married, and then 2 years, I was with a woman for 8 years and lived together, then got married 2 years later, poof, gone. When you say you didn't like it, was it something that happened, or was it a situation where you married her? Because I know a guy whose woman told him, if you don't marry me, I'm not about politics right now, but
Right.
he had to marry this girl because she said, I'm going to abort this baby. And he married her, she had the baby, and then he had a plan and he divorced her. Was it a situation where did you at one point, because this is a show, were you in love with your wife or not, or that's too personal enough to answer it. When you say you didn't like your marriage, what, it just deteriorated to a point where it was affecting your life?
No, I did, at one point I did love her, but we went through a bunch of shit, and we had got separated the first time, and then COVID hit, and then we tried to make it happen again, and then just being there during COVID, I'm like, this isn't what I want. This isn't what I want. Like, and it, before the separation of the first time, before COVID, I wasn't planning on getting back to her. And then COVID happened. I had to go and be quarantined at the house with them. And I was just sitting there, and I'm just like, this ain't what I want. And I kept trying to be like, oh, just do it for the kids, man. Do it for I kept trying to sell myself on something that I did not want. And so I started.
You broke up a little bit.
I started getting so fucking angry and upset with it. She wasn't doing anything. Oh, sorry. I was feeling inside. You hear me?
Yeah, like you froze, but okay, now you're better. I had to update my internet like 6 times, but so she wasn't doing anything wrong. It was just more you.
Yeah, I was projecting out on her, and she bless her heart, she was trying to, trying to help.
You're breaking up real bad, Mike. Hey, Mike. Ah, this is too bad because this was getting good. Ah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just like, fuck that. And then, I mean,
Hey, Mike, you broke up. You broke up for a second. Are you there now?
sorry about that. Yeah, I'm here. You can hear me?
Yeah, and you were getting so deep, and I was like, "Oh no!" Give a brief.
Yeah, I can.
Give a brief summary of what you said in the last 2 minutes, but make it brief because I don't want to make you repeat yourself. But oh no, he's freezing again. Mike, you there?
Bar is full service. I don't inside is freezing. Hello? I got full bars. Now I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. So I've had it, I'm in the country, but so sometimes the internet, and I've had to update my internet. So re-summarize those last 2 minutes and if you want, but you were going through a hard time, and I'm sorry to make you do that. I apologize. Just you.
No, it's okay. I started to hate myself. I started to hate who I started to become because I was so unhappy with the choices that I've made. And it wasn't nobody else's fault. It was my choices. I did it. I take full accountability, full responsibility for the shit that I did. I did them. So I just was like, you know what? I gotta make a bunch of changes in my life. And so I started making a bunch of changes to make me feel a lot better, and things that I wanted to change because I didn't think things made me feel better. Certain things did not make me feel better. So I started making all the changes, and that's when I got a divorce and changed gyms. And yeah, I just wanted a whole new look.
How long have you been with your current gym?
The gym that I'm right now, I don't even have, like, I'm not like with one particular gym. I just have a bunch of coaches that I work with. I like the coaches, the way they work. So I started to work with these particular coaches.
Now, let me ask you something, because now
Yeah.
once you became, I would think once you fought on, because you have actually fought on ESPN, right?
Yeah.
That adds a whole nother level, right? Like now you're getting more, your profile has increased because of ESPN. I've heard some fighters tell me that.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So is it surprising to you?
Yeah.
Because you are this tall, good-looking fighter, badass, women feel safe around you. It's a cave woman thing, right? It's just as part as like old as time. I hate to what's his name? Bill Maher. Bill Maher gets gorgeous women, and Bill Maher looks like I love Bill Maher, but he looks like he was hit in the head with a pan. But shout out to Bill Maher. I love you. So were you surprised now that, because I know what happened, because most men would, you become this famous and you're this good looking guy. Are women now, and it's not a disrespect to women, women can be like men. They can be. Did you experience that where they're just like, hey, Mike, like they're more forward? And as a man, it might be challenging for you to be like, well, you're in a bad marriage, you're not happy, situations happen, they're very direct, they're letting you know they're down, right? I'm assuming that's what happened at times.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, it happens. And you wouldn't be the first athlete to go through it, and you won't be the last. And do you think in the future, are you looking for someone to, like, are you looking for a relationship? And do you think if you found that you'd be able to, deal with that fame? Because you're only going to get more famous. I think, especially the higher you go up.
Right.
So,
now the thing about me is that right now, and with the point where I'm at in my life, I just want to be fucking selfish as shit. I don't want no girlfriend. I don't want, because like I have 2 kids, and I don't want to be in a situation where I have to like be worried about other people's feelings, and because like I'm so motivated to train and fight that I don't want to be distracted. You know what I mean? Like if you want to fucking, she wants to hook up, that's different. Let's hook up. But like I don't want to be like, okay, what are we gonna go for dinner? I don't want none of that shit. Where I want to go for dinner is fucking home. I want to go home, cook food, go to bed. Like I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't want any of that type of grief, because I feel like, not all, but in a lot of instances, especially being a fighter and being in relationships, it's tough on the other person. It's tough on the woman, you know, because they have to worry about the male or female's crankiness. You got to worry about, like, significant others take a lot because they got to worry about their crankiness. They got to worry about them training all the time, not being available, not having energy to do X, Y, Z. I don't want to do none of that shit. When I go home, I want to go fuck to bed when I need to go to bed. I don't want to sit up and binge watch fucking 90 Day Fiance. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I just don't want to do that. So I want to go to bed. So that's just where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I get it. I suffer real bad insomnia. It's terrible. But my buddy, who's a very successful guy, he sends me links. You got to watch this 90 Day Fiance. I'm like, I don't have time for that shit. I don't have time for that.
I got to get up in the morning. I got to go train in the morning. Like, I don't got time for that. My body got to be recovered, ready to go.
Do you train 2 times a day or one, or about
2, sometimes 3?
Wow.
Sometimes 3. Yeah.
So you know
because Tuesday and Thursday, I always say, like, lifting and conditioning and shit, that supplements the other training, but you still need to work on your art. You know what I mean? You still need to do jujitsu, you still need to do Muay Thai, still need to do boxing, still need to do wrestling. Like, those things, but your strength conditioning supplements those. So if you just have a day when you're doing strength conditioning, you still got to get your grappling in, you still got to do your striking. So some Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm doing triples sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what you have that I think is very important. It sounds like you have obviously you have very good self-esteem, but then there's and maybe you didn't always have that because you said you had issues and suicidal or whatever word. What was that word you used?
Yeah, suicidal.
Yeah.
Suicidal.
Yeah. So I've had those thoughts too, but I would never act on it because it would just devastate everybody around me. And now I don't feel that, but I have, right? And so what you have is very good self-esteem, but you also have what I call, or what they teach, not that I came up with it, it's called, they try to teach people to have good self-intimacy. And what that is you can be alone, but you don't feel lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people, they need to be around, like, I need someone. And you really don't. And you know, you got your kids, they look at you like you're a superhero, I'm sure. And you know, you set up a good life for yourself. Divorce sucks. It doesn't matter if you're if you're a professional athlete or a former stand-up comedian who went broke. But it doesn't really matter. It sucks, you know? So you're just looking now. So I guess the next step for you is you're just training for this fight in September. And then, do you have any thoughts or any plans? Because you probably got another 5-6 years left, you think, of fighting?
Yeah, I got a couple more years. Yeah. But I wanted to add to that. That's funny that you said that about the self-intimacy. So for a long time, I never hit that point in my life because I've been in, like, relationships back to back. Like, I've been in a relationship since fucking high school all the way till now. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, and with one girl, then I just been another, like, I was the relationship type of guy. And I just would bounce back and forth. Then, like, now that after I got out of this marriage, I'm like, man, fuck that. I don't want no relationship right now. I don't want a relationship for a while. I want to chill, kick my feet up, do shit that I like to do. So, and, you know, I got my own little studio apartment. I love it. I just chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I train, chill. My life is very simple. I train, come the fuck home, and chill, and get up, and rinse, wash, repeat over and over, and hang out with my kids from Thursday to Sunday.
Let me tell you, the simple life. I have a little house. I live in the country. Literally, I went outside. There were chickens and ducks in my front yard, and there were kids chasing them around. And I loved every minute. I taped it. But the simple life is it's much better. Keep everything, you know, it just makes, you know, I made some mistakes in my life. I've had some bad decisions in my life, but yeah, no, I think that's great that you came to that point that you can do that. And so that's awesome. And I'm going to ask you one final question. And a lot of guys are like that with that self-interesting. I had 3 relationships in a row. And after the last one, I just went, fuck this, like
Yeah.
no, I'm done. Like, fuck this. I'm done. And I let myself go a little bit. I've been eating and I'll get back I'll get back and, do all that stuff again when I feel right. But right now I just focus on myself. But I always I'm asking everybody this because I think it's a very funny question.
Yep.
And you're a mixed martial artist, and this will be your last question.
Okay.
If the question is, and I hope you enjoyed this interview because I did, or
I
I
did.
should
It was
say
good.
conversation. I should say conversation. If I asked Leah Letson this, and I'm asking every fighter this, if Bruce Lee were alive, he would blank. And it could be Bruce Lee as the Bruce Lee we all remember, or the Bruce Lee as if he was alive, he would be whatever he'd be 60. So if you want, I could give you an example.
Okay.
Okay, so
Give me an example.
okay, because so if Bruce Lee were alive, he would be on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, absolutely. Joe Rogan would have him on in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I don't think he would be as involved in MMA as much as people think he would, though. I don't think so.
No.
No, because MMA is it's not an art, it's a sport.
Yeah.
Straight up. It's like the way it is, the way it's designed, the way how everything it's a straight sport. There's really no art really behind it. It's a sport. Like there's no other way to describe it. So it's like, I mean, it has like artsy feels to it where you can be like, oh, like, whatever. But dude, it's a sport. it is. And I just think that, like, I don't know. I don't think he'll just be involved. I think he'll be a fan of it. He'll like it. He'll think it's cool and shit. But I don't think he'll be as involved into it as he is, because he was like a fucking philosopher. Like, he had this whole mindset of how to, change people's minds, stuff like that. And I just don't. I think the MMA, like, not necessarily the community, but like the style of it, the way it is, it's like there's really no room for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a sport. It's so much of a fucking sport that it's like, so I think he'll be like, oh, this is sick, but I don't think he'll be like he'll probably do like some Steven Seagal shit. Like, he'll probably help some guys will probably get him involved in their camp and like, yo, she's me how to do the fucking 1-inch punch. Bah, bah. But like, what are the chances you're hitting that? In MMA, like, what fucking chances? So it's just, I don't know.
A lot of MMA fighters, though, credit him with, like, who's that former guy? Damn it, I'm so bad with names. Bas Rutten, because he did some tournaments, and he told his wife after one tournament, like, I didn't do well. So then he started like working with Gene Labelle, and started incorporating boxing. He knew, like, straight up martial arts. Like, versus a boxer, you're gonna, if you don't know ground, you're gonna get killed. And so he started adding things like wrestling, and Gene Labelle was this like, the way he's described is this, like, he was this like massive kind of grappler, judo champion, worked with Bruce Lee, and they said if he would have fought Bruce Lee, he would have destroyed Bruce Lee. But he injured his back for 6 months, Bruce Lee. I went down this rabbit hole, so I want to share the world like I'm smart. And he went down this rabbit hole, and he hurt his back. No, I went down the rabbit hole. He hurt his back for 6 months, and he started writing. So he was very much a philosopher. And he did do that. And so you're probably right. And then my last thing is, if Bruce Lee were alive, he would be verified on Instagram.
Yeah, he would. He would for sure.
He would be.
He probably would have the most followers than anybody on Instagram. I don't think the Kardashians could even fucking touch him.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The Rock could quit acting and just like open a store. He's got like
Yeah.
100 million followers. The Rock could just, if he wanted to talk to people, I'll give you a 1-minute conversation with me and I charge you $1. He would, to each of his fans, he'd make $100 million.
This is true. This is true.
Crazy, but I think, you know, that's a good point. Like, I hope you, like, I see you're building up your social media, and I hope you continue to do that. I talked to Eric Anders, and he buys real estate with his wife with some of the winnings he gets. So I hope you're looking in the future also. And so it was a real pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much. I'm trying to think of a joke, but I can't think of anything. So I'm just I'm not going to say anything. I told Mike Davis, Beast Boy, I said, I'm sorry if my persona intimidated you. And he just stared at me and was like, yeah, like he didn't think it was funny at all. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to use that. But he's actually been texting me. So he's a cool dude too. So yeah, I like to have fun, man. It's all about having fun and being happy. And so, and you know, you went through a divorce, but guess what? You have 2 beautiful creatures behind you that are part of you.
Yeah, they kind of suck.
No, dude, they don't suck, really. No,
they're awesome. They're really good kids.
Yeah, no, kids are great. I don't have any, but kids are beautiful things. And so I'm very happy for you, and I'm very happy for your success, and keep posting. And I hopefully I could have you back on before your fight, or maybe after your fight, after your win.
We could do both.
Okay, cool, man. Well, it's nice to meet you. Hopefully we can
meet you in
person. And you have a great day, man.
You too, my man. Thank you.
Right. Bye, kids.
Bye.
All right, man. Take care.
Yep. Later.
All right. All right. I keep interviewing these really good-looking fighters, and it's pissing me off. You know, I try to be I try to ask questions about the MMA stuff, but at the same time, I'm trying to get into their minds a little bit to ask, you know, their journey and what you see. And a guy like that, look at that guy. That guy's a beast. And you know, that suicide, man, it gets in your mind, and you gotta, like, as soon as it does, you have to reach out. And you know, I once shared with someone what I was feeling, and they said I was looking for attention. And that is the worst thing you could tell somebody who is reaching out to you. Okay, so and I don't talk to that person anymore. And this was supposedly a Christian, and she's a nice person. She actually set me up with my ex-girlfriend who destroyed me, but she was a nice person. You know, if somebody is telling you that they feel something, take them seriously, and do not tell them they are looking for attention. It's the wrong message to send. They need support. You know, talk to them, tell them to call these, you know, tell them to Google numbers. If they don't, you know, have a good support system, get a therapist. But life is so good. My life is great, and I've had great parts of my life in the past. And then I just had a 2-year period where you let someone into your life that will destroy you because they are destroyed. So they need that. And narcissism, guys, that is a real thing. Okay. I want Bill Gates to try to create a way to cure narcissism. That's what I want. I said that because he tries to cure things and everything. Because that, oh my God, if you've never met a real true narcissist, guys, I know guys from high school who are studs and have probably been with 2 women, and the woman is beautiful and they have kids and they're happy, and they probably never know what a narcissist is unless they're related to them. But to be in a relationship with a narcissist, it's like, it destroys you. It could destroy you. And so if you have that, I don't care how hot they are, how handsome they are, how big their, excuse my French, their dick is, how, you know, you got to bounce from that. You got to bounce from that. So thank you guys for listening. This guy was awesome. I find most of these MMA fighters, well, all of them so far have been really great. So thanks again to Mike Rodriguez. I am unsure what his nickname is, but I'm going to put his Twitter and Instagram. And he has a fight on September 18th, 2021. He's fighting on the UFC Fight Night. And I'm not even going to mention his opponent's name because I will butcher it. His first name seems to be Tafan Mikajuchin. Well, anyway, look it up. Thank you guys for listening. I'm really hoping you're enjoying the content, and I'm enjoying doing it. So I'm having a good time, and you know, whatever. So thank you guys. Bye-bye.